Friends, I told you if it was a full day of court, I was going to have to take a break at lunchtime and come and break it down for you. It was a full day of court. So much happened. First of all, I expected Mark Tinsley to get up there and wear the defense out because he was ready. He came both guns blazing. He was ready to have a fight. So the prosecution asked their attorneys. The defense wised up because they knew that Mark Tinsley had no time for their mess, and he was excited. Apparently, he was saying in media, he was excited and hoping that they would ask him about his $1,000 contribution to the GoFundMe for Miss Shelley. They got up, they asked him one question, and he was combative in response, and then they sat down. And we were like, oh, wait, that's all? Okay, this is probably going to be a boring day about gunshot residue. But we were wrong. So wrong. Then Miss Bianca took the stand. Let me paint a picture for you. The state calls Bianca, whatever her last name is, and she stands up there and she spells her last name, and she's a Hispanic woman, a woman of Hispanic origin. And I don't know why, but somehow I expected her to them to treat her like the maid. You know what I mean? Like, you know how these lawyers clearly treat certain people with a certain level of elevated respect, and other people they treat like the help. Well, Miss Bianca got up there and broke down her entire resume. She is born in Brownsville, Texas. She is a military veteran. She worked in prisons. She worked at a bunch of different jobs. She has 5 children. She has raised them all, and she was bored, so she needed a job to do. And because she was bored being at home, the audience laughed at that. The audience, like the people in the gallery or whatever, laughed at that a little bit. And so she was like, I knew Miss Maggie from whatever. She knew Alec through the law firm, through helping for translate. She was translating for one of their cases. And so she met Alec. When Miss Maggie needed help, they called her and said, hey, do you know anybody? And she's like, I'll take the job. It's honest work. Good for you, Miss Bianca. So Miss Bianca starts working with the Murdaughs years ago. The kids were little then, apparently. I'm sure she overlapped with Gloria Satterfield. Honey, this is what you need to understand. You know who knows all your business, all the things that you don't tell your mama, your sister, your best friend, and them? Yep, the people that live at your house, the people that stay at your house, the woman who cleans the house, the man who cuts the grass, the person who delivers the mail, the person who takes out the garbage. Those are the people who were just wallpaper. They're there in the background all the time, and they know all of your business. And if your husband murders you, well, they're likely to tell the police. And in this case, Miss Bianca had all of the tea. Miss Bianca got up there and said that the most stunning thing she said to me was that Alec lured Paul and Maggie to the house on the night of the murders. Now, those are not the words she said, but she said on numerous occasions, Maggie had no intention of being there at the house that night. Paul had no reason to be at the house there that night, but that Alec had asked both of them to show up at Moselle, and nobody knew or expected them to be there except for Alec. Also, after the murders, Miss Bianca found extra clothes and a wet towel on the bathroom floor. She said it looked like Maggie's clothes had been staged in the bathroom. Honey, Miss Bianca came with all the tea. I was living my entire life this morning. A colleague asked me a question. I was like, huh? What? I wanted to say, you see me listening to the Murdaugh trial? But you know, I was at work. And so I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Can I get back to you on that later? I have no idea what I'm getting back to them on. But you know what I could tell them all about? Miss Bianca's testimony. At one point, the lawyers were going back and forth at each other so hard, the judge was sick of all of their mess and was like, y'all work it out. I'll be back in a few. And he got up and left the bench. Judge Newman is sick of everybody. He's sick, and he is also fresh out of F's to give for these two silly lawyers. I suspect the judge feels like I do, that this trial has gone on way too long. The prosecution is estimating that they'll be done by Wednesday. Today is Friday. The prosecution is saying they'll probably be done by Wednesday. We still haven't seen or heard from Cousin Eddie yet. Hopefully Cousin Eddie will be on after lunch. And then after that, then the defense has a week-long case, and then the prosecution gets to rebut. We're 3 weeks in. we might have another 3 weeks to go. That's like an entire maternity leave if you're in the US and you had a vaginal delivery and you don't have a job with good health insurance. I'm just saying 6 weeks is a long time. It's a very short period of time if you're having a baby, but it is a very long time for a child. So Bianca is now off the stand. Bianca let us know that Maggie was clear that she did not want to go to Moselle. She did not intend to go to Moselle, but Alex was asking her to go to Moselle, and that is the only reason she was there. Alex, things is looking rough for you, dude. Apparently, there was also some more shenanigans today in the courtroom with the family. What are those garbage people up to now? Like, honest to Pete, they cannot keep themselves together, not for 2 minutes. Listen, what they need to be doing is brushing up on their cake with a file in it recipes and stuff like that. Like, you might want to smuggle some opioids to daddy. Pull together your peanut butter cookie recipe so you can put some nice opioids in. Opioid. I can't talk today. Am I on opioid drugs? Am I on drugs? Alex gonna need some heavy duty drugs because he going away for a long time. I'm here for it. I can hardly wait. Okay, so this afternoon, I do not know who is coming to the stage, the stand. You knew what I meant. Dear Beyonce, let it be Cousin Eddie. Because after a fiery morning of testimony from Miss Bianca, I need to hear from Cousin Eddie. Last but certainly not least, who has turned this case on its head? Who has showed up and shown out in every situation? The women. Those women who are supposed to be steel magnolias or southern bells or whatever you want to call them, honey, the women have stood up and been like, I'm not a part of this boys club. And let me tell you what's happening. Those women, Miss Jeannie Seckinger, who has no time for your mess, Miss Shelley, who had all the good tea, Annette, who found the check that fluttered to the floor like a feather, and then today, Miss Bianca. Honey, stand back. Girl power in the Alec Murdaugh trial today. They gonna bring him down. They're the reason he's taking his behind to jail. Allegedly? Supposedly? Definitely, hopefully. Oh, look, I have a negative space manicure. I have paisleys on my fingernails today. Okay, you know I get distracted. It's a beautiful day outside. I have to go back in. Are there rats behind me? Look, I'm sitting here running my mouth and there's a rat dancing behind me someplace. All right, y'all have a great day and I will see you after 5 o'clock. Bye.